Stem changing verbs, O to UE. En este video vas a aprender cómo conjugar verbos irregulares que cambian de O a UE en la raíz. Bueno, empezamos. First, connect with English. Remember that there are no stem-changing verbs in the present tense in English. For example, if you conjugate the verb to find in English, it sounds like this. I find, you find, he, she, it finds, we find, you find, they find. The root is always the same. Find, 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 find. This particular form here has an S on the end, but that is not a change in the root. The root always stays the same. So in Spanish, things are a little bit different. Remember from our previous unit that E to IE stem-changing verbs have a stem change that happens in all three classes of verbs. Your verbs can end in AR, ER, or IR. Also remember that in E to IE stem-changing verbs, the stem change happens in all forms of the verb except in the nosotros, nosotras form. Also in the vosotros, vosotras forms, but we don't really use that one as a functional verb in our course, so you don't have to worry about that one so much. So here are some E to IE stem-changing verbs from all classes, AR, ER, and IR, the complete conjugation. Cerrar is an AR verb that changes from E to IE in the stem. Cierro, cierras, cierra, cerramos, cierran. Querer is an ER verb that changes from E to IE in the stem. Quiero, quieres, quiere, queremos, quieren. And preferir is an IR verb that changes from E to IE in the stem. Prefiero, prefieres, prefiere, preferimos, prefieren. Note that the E to IE change happens in all forms except for the nosotros, nosotras forms. We don't have the vosotros forms listed here. Verbs that change from O to UE in the stem follow the same pattern as E to IE verbs. So if you understand that pattern, you're already one step up for conjugating O to UE verbs. The last O of the stem changes to UE in all forms except the nosotros, nosotras form and the vosotros, vosotras, if you want to be technical, across all classes of verbs, AR, ER, and IR. For example, here we have the verb poder. It means to be able to, or can. I can, you can, he, she, it can, we can, they can. In Spanish, the conjugation looks like this. Puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, podéis, pueden. The O, the last O of the root, in this case the only O, changes to UE in the first person singular, second person singular, third person singular, and third person plural. One way to think of this, in lots of Spanish courses, they tell you to think of it as the boot conjugation, because the shape of those four forms takes the form of a boot. Other verbs that you know that have this stem change are almorzar, costar, dormir, encontrar, and volver. Let's look at those conjugations now. Almorzar means to eat lunch. The O from the root, in this case the only O, will change to UE in the first, second, and third person singular forms and the third person plural forms. This is the way the conjugation sounds. Almuerzo, almuerzas, almuerza, almorzamos, almorzáis, almuerzan. And there's your boot. First, second, third singular, third plural. Encontrar means to find. The O from the root changes to a UE in the conjugation, so that the conjugation sounds like this. Encuentro, encuentras, encuentra, encontramos, encontráis, encuentran. And there's your boot, la bota. The O changes to UE in the first, second, and third person singular, and the third person plural. Costar means to cost. The O in the root, in this case the only O, changes to UE in the conjugation. Questo, questas, cuesta, costamos, costáis, cuestan. There's your boot. Questo, cuestas, cuesta, cuestan are the verbs that have the change. Costamos and costáis do not have the letter change in the root. Volver means to come. Vuelvo, vuelves, vuelve, volvemos, volvéis, vuelven. Notice that the previous verbs had AR endings. This is a verb that has an ER ending. So you have to keep in mind when you're conjugating to put the correct endings on. The endings for an ER verb are O, es, e, hemos, eis, en. And the O in the root changes from O to UE. There's your boot. La bota. Vuelvo, vuelves, vuelve, vuelven. Y por fin, dormir, to sleep. Notice that this verb is an IR verb, so there are changes for O to UE across all classes, AR, ER, and IR verbs. The conjugation of dormir sounds like this. Duermo, duermes, duerme, dormimos, dormís, duermen. The O from the root changes to UE in the first, second, and third person singular and the third person plural. There is no change in the first and second person plural. Duermo, duermes, duerme, dormimos, dormís, duermen. Bueno, y eso es cómo conjugamos los verbos que cambian de O a UE en la raíz.